Hi, everybody. In this mini lecture, I'll be covering parts of Chapter 2, and in particular, we'll be looking at nutrition information and whether it's fact or fiction. Now, in this short presentation, we'll examine several things. For instance, where do we turn for nutrition information and is it credible? We'll also look at how to spot a red flag when it comes to nutritional information. And last, if there's so much misinformation out there, where do we go for reliable sources? This is where we'll briefly discuss registered dietitians and other credible sources, such as websites and literature. Now, we've come a long way since Dr. Goldberger's studies that you read about or viewed the video on our Blackboard site, yet it was still not long ago that people relied on their intuition, common sense, or personal experience for their nutrition facts and dietary practices. For instance, you may have been told that gum stays in your stomach for 7 years if you swallow it. Or if you eat a pricey herbal supplement, you will detox your body. And it's clear that those studying nutrition and those in the field of nutrition cannot rely on these types of anecdotes when making dietary recommendations. By now in your education, you are likely very aware of the importance of the scientific method and the repeatability of scientific studies. Scientists who study nutrients and their impact on the human body must rely on sound evidence demonstrating the relationship between nutrients and a disease risk or disease prevention. By utilizing the scientific method in their research, scientists are able to eventually make recommendations to people to make dietary changes as a result of their findings. Be sure to review the scientific method, the information in your textbook, and the types of scientific studies used in nutritional research. There may be very general questions included on Test 1 about these. Now, according to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, most people get their nutrition information from the internet, TV, or magazines. We have to be very cautious with this information since many sources are not managed or reviewed by qualified health or nutrition professionals. Now, where does the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, step in when it comes to the regulation of nutrition and health related claims? Now, all health claims that appear on food or dietary supplement labels must be approved by the FDA, which ensures they are supported by a significant amount of science before appearing on a label. However, the FDA can't prevent the distribution of nutrition misinformation on TV or radio or in published books. The Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, does attempt to challenge misinformation in the health and nutrition advertising arena, but the amount of deceptive information far exceeds the manpower of the FTC. So, keeping this all in mind, there's definitely a need for a level of skepticism when it comes to non-peer reviewed health and nutrition information. In other words, practice the philosophy of let the buyer beware. There are some fairly obvious red flags you can look for when it comes to evaluating health and nutrition information. And we're going to look at an ad on the very next slide. So, when you evaluate health and nutrition related products, you should always ask questions. Now, what's the purpose of the product in the advertisement? Who is the source of the product? What are their motives for selling it? What's the source of the information about this product? Our textbook also discusses red flags to look for, or those things that indicate the product information may be unreliable. For instance, if the product says it provides a quick and easy remedy, that should be a red flag to you. Nothing is that quick and easy, especially when it comes to something like weight loss. If it just sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. If the product or advertisement scares you into thinking that if you don't use it, you may end up with an unwanted health condition such as cancer or diabetes, that should also be a red flag. Testimonials of those who have used the product may be shown, especially with before and after photos. Be very skeptical because, in general, these people are paid for their testimonials. So there was definitely a motivation for them to, for instance, lose weight to be shown in the advertisement. Beware of vague information, just like how this particular ad shows that the product was rated number one, but by whom? We don't know. And if you take a look at this ad too, it also makes you feel like you need to hurry. You can see it several times in this ad. Hurry to get the product, that there are only 250 trials sent per day. You need to claim your trial today. There's only one bottle per customer. So they make it seem like it's a very, a product in high demand. And it also says that it delivers mind-blowing results. Look for those adjectives like that. They're really trying to reel in the customers. Now, if you're like me, the internet is your primary source of news and information. We must, however, be wary of those health-related websites that are authored or sponsored by one person or that are promoting or selling the products for a profit. As you can imagine, many of these website owners are only out to make money. I included this information on the course Blackboard site for Chapter 2, but I'll also mention it here. You can visit the QuackWatch website to get more information about some of the more prominent people and websites who are suspected of providing unreliable health and nutrition information. Now, this site also provides links to what are considered reliable health-related websites, and you can see I provided that right on this slide, quackwatch.org. And for the most part, websites sponsored by professional health organizations, respected nonprofits, and government agencies are good sources of reputable information backed by sound scientific research. And I've listed a few of those sites on this slide, such as the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the CDC, and of course the FDA. Now, the best sources of sound scientific information are from peer-reviewed literature. The MCPHS library website has subscriptions to many peer-reviewed journals. You can also access PubMed through our library, which is made up of more than 27 million citations for health-related topics, including nutrition. Now, with all the misinformation available to us, who can we turn to for reliable nutrition information? Experts and educators in nutrition have extensive training, often including clinical or research experience, that enable them to evaluate and translate scientific information into dietary and health advice. One recognized food and nutrition expert is the Registered Dietitian, or RD. Now, since 2013, RDs can also be referred to as RDNs, which is short for Registered Dietitian Nutritionist. Most work in hospitals and other healthcare facilities. Some perform research. Many have private practices or have jobs at local health departments to help prevent and treat disease. RDs are not the only source of credible nutrition information. People who possess advanced degrees in nutrition, nutritional biochemistry, or other related disciplines can also be reliable sources of information. I provided a couple of websites here, and I recommend these if you want to learn more about registered dietitians, nutritioned.org and eatright.org, and the latter being the website of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and it provides abundant information about the field. I recommend taking a look at it.